Hello children, I am your tele teacher for today, Dr. Mrs. Pallavi Patnaik, and in this segment we will be discussing about prepositions. In fact, the second part of prepositions, the first part of which had been discussed in an earlier segment. I hope you have all paid attention to the different types and forms of preposition that I had taught earlier, and now in the second part we will discuss more with appropriate examples. As children, I always say keep your notebooks and pens handy so that whenever I dictate an example or whenever I explain an example, you will be able to note down immediately. Now, how will you recognize a preposition? You have already learnt about the various kinds of preposition. Now, in this particular slide, I will tell you how will you recognize a preposition. Pay particular attention. Now, recognizing prepositions is not always easy because they do have a particular structure and spelling. We do not know, however, that prepositions are interchangeable and how they can be done in certain aspects we have read in the first segment. But one technique people use to identify a preposition is to think of a preposition as anywhere a mouse can go. Look at this particular example. Anywhere a mouse can go. Above, below, next to, between, beyond, through, by, with, etc. So, it won't cover them all, but it can be used as a useful question to ask when trying to identify and recognize a particular preposition. While there are over many prepositions, about 100 of them in English language, there are around 5,000 to 7,000 nouns and more in English literature. It is unlikely anyone will be able to learn so many nouns, but recognizing and then mastering prepositions might be an attainable goal for all of you. Now, prepositions with nouns. How do we recognize a preposition with a noun? We will learn to recognize a preposition with a noun, with a verb, etc. So, the first example is recognizing a preposition with a noun. There are lots of different nouns that carry specific prepositions to bring about a solid meaning to the sentence. These are called as dependent prepositions. Children, note down. These are called as dependent prepositions. Again, there isn't a set rule that says a particular kind of noun will take a dependent preposition, although they normally follow the noun. Okay? Moreover, there are many possible combinations. It is a case of familiarizing yourself with the different possibilities of nouns and dependent prepositions. Let us have a look at the examples so that you will know how to recognize a preposition in combination with a noun. She displayed cruelty towards his dog. She had knowledge of physics. The trouble with Jack. 21 is the age at which you are allowed to drink. Bolt made another attempt at the world record. The police held an inquiry into the murder. Now look children, what are the prepositions in the above sentences? Towards, of, with, then here at, then in the next sentence at and into. So, these are the various kinds of prepositions that have been used in combination with nouns. All of the sentences convey different meanings and the addition of a preposition of a noun has been clearly explained in this slide. Now, how will you recognize once a preposition is used in combination with a verb? Look, prepositional verbs, what are these? The phrasal combinations of verbs and prepositions. What are they called as? Prepositional verbs. Note down. And they are important parts of a speech. How can we explain this? The prepositions again act as links between the verb and noun or the gerund, giving extra meaning to the sentence. Firstly, then the prepositions most commonly used with verbs, what are they? They are to, for, about, of, in, at and from. Okay? The important thing is that these will always come after the verb in the sentence. However, it should be noted that prepositional verbs can have slightly different meanings in comparison to the original verb. For example, to relate a story simply means to tell a story. To relate to a story means that you identify with the story and find some personal meaning related to that particular story. Now, how to identify the preposition along with the verb? He was admitted to the charge. He admitted to the charge. I go to Vancouver on vacation twice a year. William can relate to the character in the play. So, see how to has been used as a preposition in the following three examples. Now, he must apologize for his actions. We searched for ages before we found the perfect apartment. I provide for my family by working 2 jobs. So, here the word used as a preposition is for, and it is used in combination with a verb. So, these are the examples how preposition can be used along with a verb. We learnt in the previous slide how it can be used in combination with a noun. In this particular slide, we see how the preposition is commonly used in combination with a verb. Now, with. How can with be used? These are the particular examples. Children, pay attention. I don't agree with your claim. The lawyer said he will meet with your representatives. They began with a quick warm up. So, these are the three ways in which with has been used as a preposition in combination with a verb. Now, with of. I dream of a better life. Have you heard of Shakespeare? The bread consists of dough, raisins and a little honey. So, how do you see the word of has been used? It is used in combination with a verb, and the word of is used as an interconnecting preposition. So, what are the better examples? I dream of a better life. Have you heard of Shakespeare? The bread contains dough, raisins and a little honey. It consists of dough, raisins and a little honey. Okay, in. Now, we will see how to use in. Does Rick believe in miracles? Fallon lives in New York. The bus accident resulted in my being late to work. So, children, look here. In this particular example, the word in has been used as a preposition. And how do we use it? Believing in miracles, living in New York resulted in my being late to work. Now, look here how at has been used. We arrived at our destination. Eileen excels at singing. Will the baby smile at her mother? So, these are the three particular examples that demonstrate the use of the word at as a preposition in combination with a verb. Now, on. Look carefully, children, how on has been used. We should really concentrate on our studies now. Okay? Helen insisted on Brenda's company. Morris experimented on some canvas. So, you see how the word on has been used as a preposition in combination with a verb and has been explained by the three examples. Now, from. Since turning 80, she suffers from lapses in concentration. Look how the word from has been used. The word from has been used as a preposition in combination with a verb, and we will give examples to justify how the word from has been used. Look at the first example. Since turning 80, she suffers from lapses in concentration. Secondly, Dad retired from the Navy in 1970s. Billy Bob, please refrain from doing that. So, these are the three ways in which from can be used as a preposition within a sentence. Now, prepositions with adjectives. In the previous slides, we learned how to recognize preposition in combination with a noun, how to recognize preposition in combination with a verb, and now we will learn how to recognize a preposition in combination with an adjective. Look at the slide, children. Prepositions can form phrases with adjectives to give further context to the action, emotion or thing the adjective is describing. Like what? Like verbs, nouns and adjectives which can be followed by, look at the words, to, about, in, for, with, at and by. Now, simply how they can be used, let us study by means of examples. I am happily married to David. Look how the word to has been used as a preposition in combination with adjectives. I am happily married to David. He is crazy about this movie. About is the preposition used in this case. Michelle is interested in politics. We are sorry for your loss. Jane will be delighted with her results. Is he still angry at the world? The entire room was astonished by the election results. So, what are the prepositions that have been used in the following cases? In the first sentence, it is about. In the second sentence, it is in. In the third sentence, it is for. In the fourth sentence, it is with. In fifth sentence, it is at. And in the last sentence, it is by. Now, they can sometimes be a pattern in deciding what preposition will go with an adjective. For example, when adjectives have the same or very similar meaning to each other, they might take up the same preposition. Now, look at these examples: frightened of, afraid of, scared of and terrified of. So, when adjectives have opposite meaning, they might also take up the same preposition. There we discussed how they have the same meaning but take up the same preposition. Here how they have the different meaning or opposite meaning but still they will take up the same preposition. Let us see how. Look at the first example: good at, great at, superb at, wonderful at, but in the second line, bad at, terrible at, woeful at, inept at. These are all the opposite words, but all of them use at. Now, there are always many exceptions, but it can help that there seems to be some consistency when adjectives have the same meaning or opposite meaning. Now, a more general rule is that English speakers that they will know or they will need to understand is the need to learn which prepositions go with what adjectives and how they can change the meaning significantly within a sentence by using a particular preposition. Now, what are the examples? Look, there are two particular examples. I am good at sports, which means I have some athletic talent. The nurse was good to my mother, which means she took care of her and was nice, kind and helpful. Okay? So, these are the things that should be kept in mind which should help you in constructing the proper sentence. Now, I am good with animals means I get along with them and handle them well. Swimming is good for your health. That was good of you to come means you were being nice and good to visit. My little brother is good inside, meaning even though you can't see how he thinks and feels, but still he is a good boy. The blueberry jam will be good on the toast. So, how is the preposition used? Good for, good of, good inside, will be good on. Okay? So, these are the different kinds how the preposition can be used within the sentence to make them more meaningful. Now, the following exercises, again I have devised some exercises, they will help you to have a greater understanding about how the prepositions work. Now, you will have to choose the best answer. There are different options, but amongst them you will have to choose the best answer. Now, the bone was dash the dog. We have options about, for, after, considering. So, the bone was, what will be the appropriate preposition? Think. The bone was for the dog. Okay? Now, in the second case again, choose the appropriate preposition. The options are on, at, in, since. We are going on vacation dash August. What will be the appropriate preposition? We are going on vacation in August. Okay. So, the preposition used will be in. Now, please put the ways dash the table. What will you choose from the given options? In, on, for, over. What will you choose? Your answer will be, please put the ways on the table. So, the preposition used here is on. Now, I received a present dash Janet. What are the options? From, of, by, about. But what should be your correct answer? I received a present from Janet. School begins dash Monday. What are the options given? In, on, from, since. And what should be the appropriate preposition? School begins on Monday. On should be your appropriate preposition. Now, fill in the blanks in the following sentences with the appropriate prepositions. The young man is swimming dash the sea. What will the preposition be used? In. There is a label dash the medicine bottle. What will be the preposition that you will use? It will be on. There is a TV set dash the corner of the room. What will be the appropriate preposition? It will be at. Next sentence, London is dash the Thames. What is the preposition that you will use? It is on. So, look at this particular slide. What are the preposition used in different cases? In, on, at, on. Now, John was brought up dash a farm, but at the age of 60, he was sent to work dash a shop. What are the two kinds of appropriate prepositions you will use? In the first case, he was brought up in a farm, and in the second case, he was sent to work at a shop. So, in the first case, it is in, second case, it is at. Second example, when we visited Hyderabad, we stayed dash the hotel. We stayed at the hotel. We stayed at the hotel. So, at will be the appropriate preposition. I would prefer to work dash a factory. What will be the appropriate preposition used? At. I would prefer to work at a factory. He told me that he lived dash 25 Ashok Nagar, Bhubaneswar. So, what will be the preposition that you can use in this case? It is at. My father is employed as a cashier dash the local branch of the Allahabad bank. What is the appropriate preposition you can use in this case, children? My father is employed as a cashier in the local branch of Allahabad bank. He was below me at school. What do you mean below me? It is lower than. What is the preposition used? Below. Now, next example. My hat fell under a chair as I was leaving the room. So, what is the preposition used here? Under. Okay. He has 10 men working for him. What is the preposition used in this particular case? For. They were standing at the hillside. What is the preposition used? At. They were walking together on the beach. Preposition used in this case is on. He waited half an hour at the corner of the street. So, what is the preposition used in this case? At. So, look at the different slides. What are the prepositions used? Below, under, for, at, on, at. Now, she divided the cake among her 5 children. What is the preposition used? Among. Now, next example. I can't see any difference between these two books. What is the appropriate preposition? Between. She met him at the front door. We will use at as a preposition. I was getting late, so we set off for home. Here, for is used as the preposition. He couldn't keep himself from falling off the wall. Falling off the wall, here off is used as the interconnecting word or the preposition. Now, the meeting, here are another set of examples which indicate your prepositions. So, pay attention. The meeting started dash o'clock at 10 o'clock. The house should be furnished by next month. He has been sick since the day he arrived. He came here during a winter evening. So, what are the different kinds of interconnecting words or prepositions that you will use in the following examples? At, by, since, during. Now, he has been ill for the last month. He has been ill since the last month. The train never arrives on time. The Second World War ended in 1945. We leave for France on Friday. Children, I have underlined the prepositions for you. So, in these examples, what are the different kinds of prepositions I have used? For, since, on, in and on. Now, he went to America on an aeroplane. He went to Howrah in the Coromandel Express. He sent the books by registered parcel. He dug the pit with a shovel. So, what are the different kinds of prepositions that have been used to make the sentence more meaningful? They are on, in, by and with. Now, he talked to his friend on the telephone. He paid his dues in cash. If you haven't got any cash on you, you can pay by check. The answer was written with a pencil. The answer was written in pencil. So, what are the different kinds of prepositions that we have used? On, in, by, with, in. Now, his decision took me by surprise. He is very kind at heart. Ravi has been on holiday for the past 2 weeks. The house is on sale. So, what are the different kinds of prepositions that I have used? Children, they are underlined so that you will not have any confusion in knowing which is the preposition. What are they? By, at, on. There were 100 people in all. I was able to know by sight. He acted at once to save the boy's life. When I arrived in his house, he was at lunch. He is on a visit to Delhi. So, what are the prepositions used here? They are in, by, at and on. So, they are the different kinds of prepositions used to make the sentence more meaningful. Now, let us invite them all for dinner. I hastened to assure him with my support. He borrowed a pen from me. His failure has completely discouraged him on trying again. Look, the various prepositions I have underlined for each category of sentence, what are they? For, with, from, on. I like to indulge in a hot bath. We congratulate you on becoming a father. Students should concentrate on studies. Everybody has been warned of the danger. They reminded me in the meeting. What are the different categories of prepositions used? In, on, off and in. So, children, as far as I have explained along with appropriate examples, all of you should remember a preposition is an interconnecting word. What does that interconnecting word serve? That interconnecting word serves a bigger purpose, that is to make sentences more meaningful. As I have shown you in the slides, prepositions can be used in combination with nouns. They can be used in combination with verbs. They can also be used in combinations with adjectives. They can be used with similar kinds of words, and they can also be used with words of completely opposite meaning. So, your aim should be to analyze the sentence carefully and insert the preposition which is best suited for the sentence. That will take you some time. So, practice all the examples that I have shown you in the slide, and I hope all of you would have noted down the important points in segment 1 and 2 that will make understanding of prepositions easier for you. I hope you remember all the examples and by now would be having a clearer concept about the chapter on prepositions. Thank you, children.